How y'all doing? My name's Jose Vindeola. I work for Leviathan Offshore and have been the pleasure working in the oil and gas industry, diving related, since 1983 in the Gulf of Mexico. I started in the Navy in 1979, so got a few years under my belt, under the water. I'm proud to say that I've made my whole life money in or on the sea. The sea's been good to me. I've had the pleasure of meeting a lot of these guys through my educational lifestyle. A lot of these guys taught me what to do, and some of them what I shouldn't be doing. And it was a blessing when Rusty called me to ask me to be a participant in this event. Generally speaking, the sculpture. I didn't know it at the time that I was going to be the model for the sculpture when I got the call, but I told him I'd do whatever we could to make sure it was going to be cool and as authentic as we could make it. He knew I was an artist, so I don't know if he thought I could sculpt, but I'm not a sculptor. But having a relationship with the dive school in Houston, having the sculptor being in Austin, and then I live there, it worked out really good. I was able to, ask the Ocean Corporation to generate or to donate the necessary items, if you will. So all of the components that are on the sculpture were donated by the Ocean Corporation. Took it to Austin, took a couple trips over there to get everything the right way, and then finally I had to get dressed in and hold the pose, if you will. It reminded me of a hot day as a standby diver, standing there waiting for them to finish. But it was pretty cool. And then I got to go back a couple times and see them actually building the sculpture. It was very educational. Unfortunately, I was on a work-related mission last year, so I wasn't here for the unveiling. So it was really important for me to be here today, and I'll be making it a regular thing until God takes me.
Hey, tell me a cool story of one of those sketchy shit stories. Tell me a sketchy shit story if you got one.
So I can say that, it's one of the things I would like to do is generate a book of those There I Was, because again, I've been doing this 40 years and I got two handfuls of where I was, and I know every one of my brothers probably got at least that many. So probably one of the sketchier things was being on a project that is far and above the level that you should be, and still trying to talk the boss into changing his mind, and it's not happening, and 3 years later you make all the money but didn't get any of the glory, That was actually a job in New Mexico. It was the El Vado job. Anybody out there knows what it's at? Those who were there, it was fun. The only people that made any money on that job were the divers. 7,000 foot, fairly deep water. It was a very, very complicated project, and those who were there, thank you guys for hanging in. I wish I would have been able to finish it. Owners got changed out, and moved on to the next project,
What was the project?
We were
1,000 feet in high mountains. What's up?
we were on a dam removing a poured concrete core that they wanted to remove so they could install a hydroelectric plant on the other side. The question part was they were drilling from their side and we were drilling from our side. And we was wondering, how are we going to know when to stop drilling before we punch through, I wasn't, unfortunately, the job that started with company A ended with company B, and I didn't get to make that part of the project, so to this day I'm kind of curious exactly how that actually turned out. It turned out positive in that power plant went online and everything was good, but yeah, that was one of those jobs where you wondered if there was only going to be a fatality. No fatalities, a few incidents, but nobody got hurt. So
What town was that in?
this would have been in 1986, 87-ish,
What town?
This was in El Vado, New Mexico, and it was literally a remote community in the middle of north central New Mexico, about 30 miles from the Colorado border and almost right on the Continental Divide. Well, the first and foremost thing is divers are born, they're not made. You're either born to do this or you're not. And so my thing is I do recruiting now for my company, and I have had the pleasure of doing recruiting for about 20 years now for several. And my goal is to let them kids know, the young candidates, to know that this is just like any high adrenaline occupation, whether you be a race car driver, a fighter pilot, a cop, all of those particular occupations come with a certain amount of risk, some more than others. the risk is going to be there in anything that you do. So understand the risk and embrace it. Don't be afraid of it. You know, I've seen so many people leave this business. It's been very discouraging because I take it personally. I'm like, what did we do wrong as an industry that made this guy want to leave? And we need more. So our goal is to get more people to understand what this is about, embrace it, and it's a great living. I mean, everything has a shiny side and a dull side, you know. This one could be kind of dull and muddy for a lot of the times, you know. I ain't gonna lie to you. But the shiny side surely outrides that part of it. And then when you have a situation that comes out positive, when it started out negative, it's a nice thing to say, hey, I survived, you know. I've had the displeasure of losing some friends in this industry, even on my watch for that matter. And now I've been lucky enough to still be here because of those guys coming to get me. So that's what makes this group of guys, my brothers, so important, you know. This is a family. If you're a fighter pilot, I don't care if you're an Israeli, a Frenchman, or a Canadian, that's a brotherhood, right? Divers are the same way. I don't care what country you're from, but if you put a helmet on to make a living, you're part of this family, you know. Again, Jose Vindeola with Leviathan Offshore, awesome little company. Mr. Tim Clements is an awesome boss. We all have our good days and bad days, but most of the days he's positive. Positive energy is what counts in this particular business. My advice for anybody who wants to get into it is ask questions and share that knowledge so that everybody in the group knows, and then that group is going to be successful. Because divers, they work alone on the bottom, but it takes a team of guys to get them there and get them back.